Yep. Inside, I want to kill myself. We are on an 0-7 run over the last 2 days. After tonight was just complete bullshit. So that's how I'm going to start off this show. Horrible Sunday, 1-5. I don't even know what to tell you about that. I just don't want to do this anymore. I have never seen anything like this, man. With the slump continuing, 2 straight losses, not a good day at all. 0-4. I just have not had a good season, man. What can this slump that I'm on? The slump continues. I've reached a new peak, actually. I'm gonna burn my Bruins hat, man. I don't know what is going on with the Bruins. March 8th, is that what it is? I don't even know. It's March 9th, I think. Who even knows, man? I don't know what day it is anymore. I don't even know what day it is anymore, man. Back with you after the worst day that I could possibly have. Back with you, as I always am. Until I die, at least. 0-2 yesterday, and yesterday did not go well for me. 0-5. The worst month that I've ever had in my 18 years doing this. I don't know what to even tell you about this anymore. Broke the slump yesterday as the slump discontinues. The slump continues. Somebody fucking kill me, please. I don't even know what I should do at this point other than potentially end it all. Yeah, what's up, everybody? It's Toad back with you for Bettor Off Dead. Thursday, July 10th, and we are slumping, man. The slumping is continuing. Gave out 2 plays yesterday on Major League Baseball unders. And, of course, once again, my best lean in the WNBA was an easy, correct call, and it was not a bet that I gave out on the show. The return of Caitlin Clark being not very good at all for Indiana as they got crushed in that game. I gave out Golden State, I believe, plus the points as a lean. Should have added it as a play, man. I was just a little bit hesitant about that. And then we got an easy win on the first under I gave out in baseball yesterday with Blue Jays White Sox. I mean, that was just really easy. Just you got to hope that game doesn't go into extra innings, although even if it did, it was so low scoring, I think it still probably would have gone under. But we know with the ghost runners, when you play unders, if that thing goes to extra innings, all bets are kind of off, man, except your bet still counts. They got to get rid of the ghost runners, but we didn't have to worry about it. That game was a 2-1 final. Both starters got us there for that game, and then the bullpens. Toronto actually needed to use a decent amount of their bullpen, but it got there. Tampa Bay, Detroit did not get there. Both starters were decent enough. I mean, they got reasonably deep into the game, and it was a 3-2 game, basically, based on what the starters did. I think Littell gave up 3 runs. Olsen gave up 2, but then the bullpen for Detroit imploded, I believe was the case. So Tampa wound up winning the game. So that it was one of the, I said that the money was coming out on Tampa yesterday. So the professional bettors had that one correct. But I liked the under in that game. That was the loser, and it was mostly thanks to Detroit's bullpen. Although first 5 inning actually still went over as well because those 5 runs that got scored against the starting pitchers also came within the first 5 innings, I should say. So either way, you bet it was a loser. So at least that makes me feel a little bit better when it's just a total loser the whole way around, just like me. Why not? All right, this is going to be, it's Thursday, so, we have not that many games going on. Baseball, it's usually a shorter board. I tried to find something, but I'm actually passing on the entire card today. I'm going to drop the analysis here. We're doing the show, but I'm not going to have anything that's going to rise to the level of a play for me today. I just can't find anything where I'm like, oh yeah, like I want to do that. But we'll talk about the games here. We do have 2 WNBA games. Minnesota, we have an afternoon game here with Minnesota and LA. Minnesota up from 6.5 to 7 as a road favorite. Minnesota, probably the best team in the WNBA at this point, but they are coming off a loss. But they were at Phoenix yesterday. Phoenix, fairly tough team. Minnesota took that loss, a rare loss for Minnesota yesterday. But Minnesota now on a back-to-back with some travel. I don't know that it's the greatest spot, and that was a fairly big game against Phoenix because Phoenix has been playing pretty well. Phoenix is the team that's closest to catching Minnesota in the West right now, so I don't love the spot for Minnesota. I would probably be looking to fade them, but the Sparks are coming off beating Indiana. So they're coming off their own pretty big game. They have extra rest here, but they are returning home. So it's a stay away, but I think Minnesota's in a pretty bad spot there. And then Vegas is at Washington. It seems like Vegas just can't figure Washington out, man, because you would think with what's happened so far this season, Vegas almost had their home opener spoiled by Washington, and they had to escape with a win. They almost lost that game. Then they played Washington again in Vegas much more recently, and they lost that game outright. So it almost seems like Vegas is just matching up poorly against Washington, although you'd have to think that that means they're going to take Washington seriously now because Washington's almost handed them 2 losses in Vegas. So you think this is kind of a road revenge angle here, right? That Vegas isn't going to overlook them here, but Vegas is coming off a pretty tough game against the Liberty, and they're playing a 5th straight road game, which is pretty rare in the WNBA, I think. Vegas not exactly playing the best basketball either right now, so I worry about it, man. It's not a great spot for Vegas, even though you'd think they would be motivated. Washington's up from a 1-point favorite to a 2.5-point favorite here at home. So, I mean, to me, the line seems like it's a little bit too high, though. Like, I still think Vegas is the better team over Washington. There is still that revenge scenario going on here. Washington, though, no travel. They're staying at home. They're coming off a win over a bad Chicago team that was a close game. So it's a stay away. I mean, I think probably the line move mostly has to do with Washington having the better travel situation here. But there is that revenge motive for Vegas there that I think might come into play in that game. So my lean would probably slightly be to Vegas in that game, to be honest, for that reason. I think the line might be a little bit too high on Washington. Scott, what's up, man? Who's trying to take your crown, man? Somebody's trying to overthrow you, kick you off the throne. Good morning to you as well, man. Thanks for hanging out. We'll talk about Major League Baseball here. Baltimore and the Mets got rained out yesterday, so we do have a doubleheader now between Baltimore and the Mets here today. David Peterson was scheduled to pitch against Sugano yesterday, and now, of course, as we see with a lot of doubleheaders, I analyzed that matchup yesterday, but now the pitchers have been split up, so Peterson is going to be pitching the afternoon game, which is going to be at noon Eastern, and Sugano is getting the night game here. So now David Peterson is going up against Charlie Morton, and this is kind of an interesting matchup here, to be honest now. So now, of course, because these teams didn't play yesterday, we have rested bullpens now. But it gives the bullpen edge to the Mets, man. I mean, they probably already had the bullpen edge. I mean, Baltimore's bullpen is awful. Mets have the better bullpen, so that is something to keep in mind. David Peterson, though, I'm just not a fan of him, man. I know his ERA is good, 3.18. 1.27 whip, not that good. He is also significantly worse on the road, 4.44 road ERA. So you can definitely fade him on the road if you pick your spots right. And he's not pitching that well recently, man. He had a 4.55 ERA in June. The Mets lost 4 out of his 5 starts in the month, and the only one that they won was a complete game shutout against a bad Washington team. All 4 road starts were losses. He bounced back with a winning start against Milwaukee, although he did walk 3 guys in that start, and he's walked 3 batters in every one of his last 4 starts. So, again, Peterson's putting a lot of guys on base, dude, so I don't know if he's that trustworthy. And the 2 starts prior to the Milwaukee one, which was a home win for him, the 2 starts prior were on the road. He gave up 5 runs in each of them and didn't even make it 5 innings in either. So I think he's regressing. He's not in good form, even though he is an extreme ground ball pitcher, which is kind of how he keeps getting away with putting this many guys on base, but his walk numbers are just still not good. I don't trust Peterson, dude. He is up against a fairly weak Baltimore offense. His numbers against them are okay. In 31 at-bats, 10 strikeouts is pretty good. 2 walks isn't bad either. 258 average, also pretty good. 722 OPS, getting a little bit into slightly higher territory, but again, I just don't trust him. He's been awful on the road. He's been pretty bad recently. I think recent form means something, man. And Charlie Morton, as old as he is, as bad as he was at the beginning of the season, I know professional bettors have been like, well, he's going to regress again. It hasn't happened yet. Since Morton was demoted to the bullpen and then they brought him back into the starting rotation, he's actually been really good, which is very crazy to think about. But I mean, he's in the better form over Peterson right now, so I think Morton might be the preferable of the 2 starters in this game. He's got a 5.47 ERA and 1.55 whip, which is bad, but his start to the season was horrific, man. He's slightly better at home, 5.12 ERA, but so he got demoted to the bullpen after he was getting absolutely trashed. Baltimore lost the first 12 games that he appeared in, including bullpen appearances. They brought him back into the starting rotation, And I forget which one was his first start when they brought him back into the rotation. It might have been this loss to Washington, but he did have 6 strikeouts and only allowed 1 run in that one. So that wasn't even his fault. The bullpen gave up 9 runs in that game. Terrible Baltimore bullpen. Then after that, Baltimore won 5 games in a row with him on the hill, and they've won 6 of the last 7 games that he started. So it's like, do you really want to fade that right now? I mean, Morton, he's not really showing that he's regressing right now. I mean, he's in good form right now. He had 1 bad start, but it was at the A's Stadium, which, as I point out, is a very difficult stadium to pitch in. I gave up 4 runs in 2 1/3 innings in that one. And they still won that game, by the way. I think I actually had Baltimore as a play on the show in that game. He was bad in that game and walked 4 guys. But other than that, he hasn't walked more than 2 in any of these other starts. He's not given up more than 3 earned runs in any of the other starts. He's gone at least 5 innings in all the other starts. And the start that they lost was a close extra innings game against Texas, where he didn't do that well, but well enough that they were in that game. Last time out at Atlanta, he had 7 strikeouts. His strikeout rate has actually been fairly high, too. He's struck out 7 or more in, 4 of the last 6 starts or something like that. So Morton, yeah, I mean, it's crazy to think about, but he's in good form right now. His numbers are, they're mediocre against the Mets. They do have a lot of experience against them. 179 at-bats, 52 strikeouts, 26 walks is definitely way too many walks. 257 batting average, not bad. 801 OPS, it's a little bit high. Juan Soto destroys him. He's 8 for 12 with 3 home runs off him and 7 walks. The rest of their hitters, though, don't do particularly well against him, so it's mostly Soto. If you want to look for player props there, again, I recommend hits plus runs plus RBIs. Soto does do a lot of damage against Morton, but other than that, there isn't a whole lot. So I would, my slight lean in this one would be Baltimore in the first 5 innings, because I don't really want to deal with Baltimore's bullpen, which is obviously the worst bullpen. Mets are a road favorite here because they have the way better record. They're up from -130 to -135, but you know the public are going to be all over that Mets team there, and they are. 83% of tickets, only 75% of the cash, so I think it might make sense to fade the public in this one and actually grab Baltimore, but I would not want to include their bullpen. So I would lean first 5 innings, Baltimore as an underdog there, from Morton to actually maybe outpitch Peterson in this game. I think it is certainly possible, but based on both pitchers just having only okay matchup numbers, neither of them are really that good either. And with Baltimore's bullpen in play, I think the full game over is also maybe a way to look here. The total is up from 9 to 9.5, 67% of tickets, 88% of cash on the over. So the over might make a little bit of sense as well. Twins, Cubs. The Twins are on the verge of sweeping the Cubs, which is probably not what was expected here. Twins got the win again yesterday, 4-2, although I mentioned that game yesterday. I liked Festa over Horton in that starting pitching matchup. I usually am going to go with Horton, man, when it's Scott Horton, but not Cade Horton there. Festa, not a bad pitcher, man. We might see as he progresses, he might actually be pretty good. Now, the problem with today's game from Minnesota, though, is that Minnesota did use all of their best relievers yesterday, and Minnesota's bullpen hasn't been particularly good recently. So Minnesota, whatever you do with Minnesota, you want to make sure you take that into account. Their bullpen is probably something you want to look to fade here. Chicago's bullpen, Cubs' bullpen is a little bit better and a little bit better rested coming into this, but the starting pitching, I don't know if I love it for the Cubs with Colin Ray on the mound for them. I'm not a fan. 4.13 ERA, 1.31 whip. Very high. I mean, it's a pretty high whip, not good. He actually has exactly the same ERA on the road and at home. He's been okay recently, though. The Cubs have actually won 5 of his last 6 starts, which was a start where he got absolutely drilled by Seattle. But if you take that out, well, actually, 3 of his last 5 starts, or actually 4 of his last 6 starts, I guess he's allowed 2 or fewer earned runs. So he has had some good starts in here. He's not striking out a lot of guys. He doesn't do that. He doesn't blow guys away, but he's limited the walk numbers. He hasn't put a lot of guys on the base pass. Good start last time out of line, 1 run. Against St. Louis on only 2 hits in 6 2/3 innings. 4 strikeouts, 2 walks. So he is in decent form right now, but I'm not quite sure that I trust him, man. I mean, there are times where he becomes way too hittable. Sometimes he just gives up way too many home runs, man. He gave up 6 home runs in June, which was why his ERA in June was 5.19. Gave up another home run last time out. So that is something to worry about. Although against the Twins, he does have good numbers in 15 at-bats, 200 average, 600 OPS, and 2 strikeouts, no walks. So he has actually done fairly well against the Twins, specifically in the past, and they don't have a whole lot of experience against him. He's going up against Chris Paddock, who I think probably has a higher ceiling than Ray. I mean, he's a younger guy, but he's a little bit more inconsistent. 4.64, well, they're both pretty inconsistent, but Paddock, I think he's just very hard to handicap for me. He has a 4.64 ERA, 1.22 whip, so his whip is actually not as bad as his ERA looks. He is better at home, 3.59 home ERA. Recently, I mean, he's been mediocre at best, I would say. I mean, Minnesota lost a bunch of his games recently. In June, they lost 5 of his 6 starts, although only one of those starts did he really get completely blasted. I mean, some of that had to do with Minnesota not being a good offense either. He did have a 23-5 strikeout walk ratio that month. Last start, the first start in July for him, he had 5 strikeouts, no walks. 5 strikeouts, no walks, gave up 2 runs against Tampa Bay, so he had a pretty good start there. Had a high 6.06 ERA in June, though, because, again, he's given up too many home runs, man, just like Ray. 6 home runs allowed in June. So that's been a problem for Paddock as well recently. Against the Cubs, he does have good numbers, though, in 41 at-bats. Cubs have a really good offense, but he's held them to a 171 batting average, 453 OPS, 11-2 strikeout walk ratio. So I actually think Paddock might be the preferable of the 2 starters here. But just like I said with Baltimore, I don't like Minnesota's bullpen very much, so I think maybe you could look first 5 innings again here on Minnesota. Again, none of these are even close to rising to the level of a play for me. I'm not going to give that out as a play, but the Cubs, they're a public road favorite here, man, just like the Mets are. Up from -104 to -112, 89% of tickets, only 84% of the cash. Money looks like it is coming in against the Cubs here. And because both pitchers do allow a lot of home runs and they are fairly hittable at times, we see money coming in on the over, so kind of a similar handicap to that other game. I would agree with the over as well on this one. The total's up from 9 to 9.5, 79% of tickets, 96% of cash on the over. So I do agree with the market reads on the side and total in both of those first 2 games there, Scott. Way too hittable. Yeah, that's right. These pitchers are whores, man. Second game of the doubleheader between the Mets and Baltimore. Sometimes I just talk about the entire doubleheader at once. The game 2 of doubleheaders, they're always hard to handicap, man, because you don't know what the bullpen usage is going to be like in the first game. But I think the one thing that's guaranteed is that Baltimore's bullpen is a fade regardless. They're a bad bullpen, and if they use their bullpen in the first game, which they probably will have to, you're probably going to want to look to be fading Baltimore's pitching. The problem is we don't even know who's pitching for the Mets here, so the Mets might be going with a bullpen game. So this second game, it looks like it's going to be an over type of game, and I think the books have put out a high total on this for that reason, because you're getting a Mets bullpen game. Both bullpens might get used in the first game, and then Sugano for Baltimore, he's just fallen apart recently, man. This is his first season in the major leagues. He was pitching in Japan for a long time. He was good early on this year, and I liked him. I had a couple of spots where I made plays on Baltimore with him pitching, and it went okay, but he's been bad recently. His ERA is up to 4.44, 1.31 whip. He's been worse at home as well, 4.91 ERA at home. After he was chugging along, pitching well, hadn't allowed more than 4 earned runs in any start all season, he gave up 7 and then 6 in his last 2 outings against Tampa and Texas, and they actually won the Tampa start anyway because they had an offensive explosion for 22 runs in that game. For specific 22 runs just from Baltimore in that game, just to be clear. 22-8 final there after Baltimore was losing that game, I think 7-0 at one point, or maybe 6-0 early on. His 2 starts before that weren't good either. Actually, the 3 starts before that weren't good. He didn't make it 5 innings in any of the previous 3, allowed 3 runs in all of them. And somehow Baltimore actually won 2 of those 3 other starts. Baltimore was putting up a lot of runs behind Sugano, but you can't trust a guy who's pitching like this, man. He's allowed 5 home runs in the last 2 outings, 7 home runs in the last 4 outings. Strikeout walk ratio is bad now as well. I mean, he's not a strikeout guy, but still 15 strikeouts over that span, but also, 7 walks. So again, he's walking too many guys. He's giving up way too many hits as well over that span. I don't even want to do the math here on this, but it's a lot of hits, way more hits than innings pitched. So he's just not pitching well. Mets haven't seen him before, so that's maybe one advantage that you would have, is that a pitcher like this who hasn't been seen before by an opposing lineup, the lineup can struggle to figure him out early on, but that hasn't been the case with Sugano recently, man. I mean, he's faced a couple of lineups that haven't seen him before. So you think maybe, well, some of the reason why he's doing bad now is because he's facing lineups for the second time, and they've seen him, so now they know how to hit him. But he has faced some lineups for the first time still in this recent stretch, and they've hit him well as well. So he's just not pitching well. The over is worth a look in this game. Even though you don't even know who the Mets pitcher is going to be. Other than that, I would probably not touch this game. The books threw a total of 10 up there, which is a very high total, thinking the same thing that I'm basically saying here is you're getting a Mets bullpen game with maybe an unrested bullpen against a bad, maybe unrested Baltimore bullpen, plus a struggling Sugano. That does look like it's a recipe for an over in that game. Miami at Cincinnati. Cincinnati did bounce back with a win yesterday after losing the first 2 games of the series. Miami, still not a good team, man, even though they've been hot recently. Cincinnati fell to 500 with 4 straight losses, and finally that was enough for them, and they won 7-2 yesterday. Abbott, I should have mentioned this yesterday because Abbott was actually named to the All-Star team as well, and I mentioned this a lot of times when a guy's named to the All-Star team, if it's his first All-Star appearance, which I'm not sure if it is for Abbott or if it isn't, but a lot of times they actually get distracted by it and they don't pitch well. So luckily I didn't mention that yesterday because Abbott pitched really well again, bounced back from one bad start yesterday. Neither bullpen got used very much at all yesterday, so both bullpens are rested here, but neither bullpen is really that good either. So we're looking at 2 fairly bad bullpens, even though they are rested, and we got to figure out what's going to go on with the starting pitching here, man. So Cincinnati did get the win yesterday. Cal Quantrill is pitching from Miami here. He's not great. 5.4 ERA, 1.43 whip. Worse on the road, 5.85 road ERA. This is a hitter-friendly ballpark as well. Last time out, he only lasted 3 2/3, even though I had a play on Milwaukee that I gave out on the show in that game. And Miami didn't allow any more runs in the game. Their bullpen had to pitch in that game for 5 1/3 innings, and they didn't give up any runs. It's just ridiculous, man. Absolutely ridiculous. So Quantrill, I mean, he has not been pitching that well. I mean, he's not giving up a lot of runs, but he's just not going deep into games. Even though Miami has won his last 4 starts, he's allowed 2 and 3 earned runs in all of them, but he's only gone 5 innings once in that span. So he's almost like a kind of an opener now, basically. He comes in, he gives you a few innings, keeps you in the game, and then you take him out. I mean, I don't think that's a recipe for success, though, man. Even though I know Miami has been winning with him on the hill recently, I just don't think that can continue with how bad his numbers have been. His strikeout walk rate hasn't been that good either, even though he did have a 6-1 strikeout walk ratio last game. He's not really a strikeout pitcher. His walk rate is fairly low, but he just doesn't strike out a lot of guys. So, yeah, I don't expect that recent success that Miami's had behind him to continue. He doesn't go deep into games, and then Miami's bullpen has to come in. Doesn't look good. His numbers aren't very good against the Reds in 37 at-bats, 270 average, 884 OPS. Stevenson and Trevino each have a home run off him. Actually, Benson does as well. 7-1 strikeout walk ratio, not that bad. But overall, I would expect Quantrill to struggle in this game. He's going up against Nick Lodolo, who has the better numbers on the season between the two. 3.58 ERA, 1.14 whip. Lodolo has struggled in Great American Ballpark, though, man. It's a hitter-friendly park. He has a 4.69 ERA at home, and he's allowed 11 of the 15 home runs he's allowed this year at home. So Lodolo has been getting pretty much shelled at home. So I don't know if you really want to back Lodolo at home either, though, even though in his last 3 home starts, he actually did pretty well, including against San Diego and the Yankees. Both teams can hit pretty well, and then also against Minnesota. And even if you go all the way back to the Arizona start, he actually was pretty good in all those starts at home, not allowing any more than 3 earned runs in any of those starts. So he actually has been a little bit better recently. His strikeout rate's been a little bit higher recently. He hasn't walked too many guys recently, and he's limited the amount of runs recently. Cincinnati had won 3 starts in a row behind him before he lost at Philadelphia, but he got no run support. He went 6 innings, 8 strikeouts in that game, 3 earned runs allowed, 2 walks. not bad. So Lodolo is actually at least in better form right now. His numbers against Miami aren't that good, though, even though their offense sucks. 40 at-bats against them, 275 average, 756 OPS, 11-5 strikeout walk ratio. Not exactly that great, so because Lodolo is pretty bad at home, I don't think we're going to get much out of Quantrill. We're going to turn it over to the bullpens at some point in this game. This looks like an over game to me as well, man, even though I know this is getaway day where teams play a little bit earlier in the day, and a lot of times hitters are distracted, kind of looking towards the next series and whatever. So a lot of times you get unders in some of these games, but I think this is an over-heavy board today, man. And you can tell because, I mean, the odds makers are putting up like pretty high totals on a lot of these. This one is at 9 with money coming in on the over a little bit, juice on the over, 69% of tickets, 74% of the cash on the over. So the public always likes overs, but I think they might be able to win some of these overs. I think that's an over type of game as well. Seattle at the Yankees. Seattle's trying to avoid a sweep here. The Yankees have put up a lot of runs recently. A lot of runs in this series. 19 runs in 2 games for the Yankees. Yankees have been hitting really well, but they might not put up as many runs in this game because they're going to have to face Brian Wu here. So they're finally running into a very good starter for Seattle. The Yankees did use some of their best relievers yesterday, again, including Williams, their closer, even though he's not really having that great a season. So I think Seattle does have a bullpen edge in this game. I think they have the slightly better bullpen, and they're a little bit more rested after yesterday because the Yankees had to use some of their better relievers to hold on to the win yesterday. And I like Seattle's starting pitcher better in this game, too. I like Brian Wu. 2.77 ERA in the season, a very low 0.96 whip. He has been a little bit more beatable on the road, though, the 3.47 road ERA. Pitches really well at a pitcher-friendly park at home in Seattle, but, I mean, he's been really good basically all season, man. He's allowed more than 3 earned runs, I think, 4 times all season. Never allowing more than 5 earned runs in any start, and I think that was twice. So, I mean, he's pitching really well. He had a 3.19 ERA in June, 33-8 strikeout walk ratio, but his team lost the majority of those starts, 3 out of the 5, because he gets basically no run support. He's had 3 shutouts in his last 4 starts, which is also pretty impressive, even though one was against Pittsburgh, who are not very good. And, well, one wasn't a shutout because 2 unearned runs scored against Texas, but they're not a very good offense either. He didn't allow any earned runs in that game, though. Even though he allowed a home run, it was an unearned run on the home run as well. So that still, I mean, he was really good in those starts. Wu was just really good overall, man. Against the Yankees, he's done well against them in the past. 47 at-bats, 14-1 strikeout walk ratio, 170 batting average, 485 OPS. So even though Wu is more beatable on the road, this is a more hitter-friendly park. I kind of like how this sets up for Seattle's pitching staff here, man. And I haven't looked to see who the Yankees play next. I don't know if they have a big series up next. They do have the Cubs as we roll into the All-Star break. That's a pretty big series, man. Like, people are going to hail that as like a World Series preview between the Yankees and the Cubs. So after winning the first 2, it is possible the Yankees overlook Seattle in this game as well. And this is going to be the toughest starting pitcher the Yankees have faced this series, and the Yankees are going with a not-so-good pitcher with Stroman on the mound here. He's been injured most of the season, but when he has pitched, he hasn't been good. 7.14 ERA, 1.66 whip. He's been worse at home, too. 7.84 home ERA, allowing 3 of the 4 home runs he's allowed this season at home. Since he came back from injury, he's made 2 starts. He did okay in a start against the A's, only allowing 1 run, but he only had 1 strikeout and 2 walks in that game, which is not a good ratio. At the Mets, which is a step up in facing an offense like that, he went 5 innings, allowed 7 hits, which isn't that great. 3 earned runs, 4-1 strikeout walk ratio is okay, but Stroman, he's been struggling this year, man. I don't know that we're going to get a great appearance out of him. He does have good numbers against the Mariners in the past, though. 54 at-bats, 204 average, 691 OPS. So even though I think Wu is certainly the better pitcher and in way better form than Stroman is, Stroman has at least been serviceable since he's come back, and he does match up well against Seattle. So I don't know if I actually love it. I would lean to Seattle, though. The Yankees obviously have a big offensive edge here, but other than that, the pitching is a big edge for Seattle in this game. But I think it's a little bit less of an edge just because Stroman does match up well against them. The Yankees are a very small favorite. So to me, you'd think that the public would be coming in on the Yankees, right? Because why wouldn't you be? It's the Yankees. They've dominated the series so far, and you're getting a very small price, down from minus 109 to minus 107. To me, it almost looks too easy to take the Yankees here, but maybe the public does look at the ERAs and they know Woo is the way better pitcher here. 72% of tickets, 79% of the cash on Seattle. So I do think the money is still actually coming in on the Seattle side, although I'm surprised to see that much of a public ticket percentage on them. The books did also throw a high total of 9 out there in this game too. Books kind of thinking this is going to be a higher scoring game, and I don't know if I quite see that. The money is coming in on the over as well. 56% of tickets, 62% of cash on the over. I would slightly lean to the under in this game, to be honest, even though I don't know if we could really trust the state that the Yankees bullpen is in, but the starting pitching might not be that bad in this particular game. At least Stroman does have the good matchup numbers, so this is an over that I don't really agree with, whereas I have agreed with the other ones. So keeping all that in mind, my Boston Red Sox are now starting a series against Tampa. I think this is the only, or no, I think this series in Cleveland, Chicago are the only. These are the only series that are new series starting today. So the Red Sox, they're not traveling. They're staying at home. They're hot right now. They've won 6 games in a row, but you got to keep in mind, man, they swept Washington and Colorado. So, I mean, I think we have to dial it back a little bit on the Red Sox. I mean, on the one hand, yes, I think the Red Sox are better than you think they are. They're better than their record looks. The Red Sox offense has actually been quite good. As they picked it back up recently with all these young studs they have in their lineup now. And the Red Sox lost a lot of one-run games early in the season, so the Red Sox are probably a little bit better than they look record-wise, but I don't think they're as good as this latest run that they've been on because, I mean, they're beating up on bad teams, man. I mean, Colorado is just historically bad. Although the Red Sox did what they were supposed to do. They did not even have close games. They blew out Colorado in all 3 of those games, scoring 29 runs in the series. So it does mean the Red Sox offense is in good form right now. Now they have a bigger series here. They got to face Tampa Bay, a divisional series here. Tampa is traveling in from Detroit. Tampa did have to kind of use more of their bullpen in that series. The Red Sox had an easy series, so Red Sox bullpen probably has a little bit of a rest edge here, even though I probably think Tampa Bay's bullpen is the better of the two, but Tampa Bay has used a lot of their relievers recently, including yesterday, so the Red Sox bullpen might actually have a slight edge just because of the rest scenario. The starting pitchers, though, I don't like either of these pitchers. Taj Bradley for the Rays, not doing too well. 4.79 ERA, 1.3 whip. Those are not good numbers. He's been better on the road, though, away from Steinbrenner Field, which is a very home run friendly park. He's allowed 8 of the 12 home runs he's allowed this year at home. So he has been better on the road. 4.04 ERA on the road. Not as bad. He's been like really good in some starts and really bad in some starts. So he's kind of difficult to figure out, man. Just overall, he isn't really pitching that well, though. He had a 5.72 ERA in June, 25-11 strikeout walk ratio, way too many walks. So the last time out, gave up 3 runs, 5 strikeouts, 1 walk against the Twins. Not a terrible start there, although the Twins are not a very formidable offense. He's now facing the Red Sox, who are a pretty good offense at home, and they're hot right now. Red Sox have done okay against Bradley in the past, 46 at-bats, 261 average isn't that bad, but a 784 OPS. So he has allowed some hard hits to the Red Sox. 14-3 strikeout walk ratio is not that bad. It's a lot of strikeouts. Bradley does have some strikeout potential in there, but still, overall, he doesn't really do that well against the Red Sox. Walker Bueller is pitching for the Red Sox, though, and I don't know if we're ever going to see a resurgence from this guy, man. As I always point out, he just has never returned to form after his injury issues. He's never been what he once was, man. I didn't think the Red Sox should have picked him up over the off season or whatever there. Some of the other Red Sox additions, like Giolito, though I thought they picked him up over the offseason, Giolito, but they actually had him last year because I'm watching the Clubhouse documentary on Netflix, and he was actually there. I think Giolito was just hurt like all year last year, which is why he wasn't really in games last year. But Giolito is actually starting to pitch pretty well. Bayo is actually surprisingly starting to pitch fairly well for the Red Sox. So some of these starting pitchers are actually doing pretty well for the Red Sox. Now, Walker Bueller is not one of them, though. He just can't get it together. He has a 6.25 ERA, 1.58 whip, just horrendous numbers on the season, although he actually has been way better at home with a 3.93 home ERA. He's allowed a ton of home runs, 17 home runs on the season, although only 6 of them at home, right? 15 home runs. I can't do math anymore. 15 home runs, only 6 of them at home, though. So he's actually been significantly better at home. 3.93 ERA at home. Last time out, he was decent at Washington, gave up 2 earned runs. Still gave up 8 hits, though, so still some issues there with being too hittable. And the prior 3 games, he got torched, dude. I mean, 4 of the prior 5 games, the Red Sox lost all 4. He didn't even make it past 4 innings in any of them, and he gave up at least 5 or 4 earned runs in all 4 of them, and 5 or more in 3 of the 4. So he was getting absolutely torched in most of those games. So just because he did well against a weak Washington lineup that he actually matched up well against historically, I'm not sure we're going to see a good performance out of Bueller, although at least he is better at home. But up against Tampa Bay in his career, he has actually been good in 43 at-bats, 11-2 strikeout walk ratio, 209 average allowed, 633 OPS. So, I mean, maybe we prefer Bueller over Bradley slightly, and I think Boston maybe has a little bit of an offensive edge and a slight bullpen edge. So overall, I think the Red Sox have a slight edge here, not much. They're up from -105 to -111. Money is coming in on the Red Sox, 63% of tickets, 78% of the cash on them. I wouldn't really want to deal with it, though. I mean, I don't think you could trust Bueller. I think an over might make more sense in this game. We have another over, yeah. Total is out there at 9. Again, a high total. 83% of tickets, 91% of the cash coming in on the over. I mean, the over is definitely going to be public with both of these teams putting up some high run totals recently. But with this game, I'm not sure that the over is wrong. I think you could see some runs in that game. So that's probably the lean in that game more than anything else. Zach, what's up, man? Pulling for my Red Sox. Thank you, sir. With the Royals being off today. Royals actually won yesterday, right, with Bubic on the mound. I was worried about him because, yeah, they won barely 4-3. I was worried about him a little bit just because I think it might be his first All-Star appearance, so there's that, like, distraction spot. But I think he did pretty well yesterday. But he was facing a very bad Pittsburgh offense. We have the other game where we're starting a new series. Cleveland is at the White Sox. Cleveland could be in a letdown spot here, man. I mean, Cleveland is coming off sweeping Houston on the road. Just crazy that they were able to pull that off. I mean, I thought Cleveland was in a good spot in the first game because Houston was coming off a huge sweep of the Dodgers and returning home from a road trip. So that was a bad spot for Houston in that first game. But I'm pretty surprised that Cleveland won all 3 games in the series. They actually scored 21 runs in the 3-game series. And this is a Cleveland offense that's been very bad. So I'm actually really surprised by that. But now they're going from Houston to the White Sox, stepping way down in class to face the last place White Sox. To me, seems like it is a letdown spot for Cleveland. That would be my opinion here. I still don't think Cleveland's very good. Their offense isn't good. I don't trust their bullpen, although they didn't use a lot of their bullpen at all yesterday. So their bullpen is rested in this game at least, and it still might be better than the White Sox bullpen, which is a very bad bullpen. White Sox are not traveling, and they're actually coming off ending a loss streak as they actually avoided the sweep and beat Toronto yesterday in that game. I gave out the under in that game yesterday, which was a winner. So White Sox are at least staying at home. So the White Sox do have some situational edges in this game, and they are a home underdog here, so it might be worth considering maybe looking towards the White Sox here. Logan Allen is pitching for Cleveland. He's not great. 4.07 ERA, 1.43 whip. I mean, those are not good numbers. That whip is bad. He's a little bit worse on the road, 4.23 road ERA. But he's putting close to 1.5 guys on base an inning, man. I mean, that is a problem. 5 of his last 6 starts, he's allowed exactly 2 walks in all of them. So that's not a good sign, although he's limited the damage run-wise. Even though Cleveland has lost 4 of his last 6 starts, he's actually allowed no more than 4 earned runs in any of them. So he's not allowing that many runs, really. He's consistently mediocre, basically. He's not getting totally torched in any of these starts, but he's not dominating in any of them. So he's okay, but he has allowed 6 home runs over that span, too, which is kind of a problem. He's allowing some hard hits, so that's not good. He's going deep enough into most of these games. They're going at least 5 1/3 in all 6 of them, so that's not that bad. So he is okay, and he is facing a weak White Sox lineup here, but the White Sox have actually hit him well in 46 career at-bats, 326 average, 824 OPS. And that's with no home runs for the White Sox. So some of their hitters have hit him well, even though they're basically doing all the damage with doubles. 11-3 strikeout walk ratio, so pretty high strikeout rate. But overall, he has not done that well against the White Sox. So Allen is pretty fadeable in this game. The problem is, if you like the White Sox, you got to deal with Jonathan Cannon, who also is not doing well. 4.5 ERA, 1.46 whip. I mean, that's not good. He is better at home, 3.38 home ERA. Way fewer starts at home, though, but definitely better at home. Cannon, recently, I mean, he's not going deep into games, man. I mean, he had a couple of starts in June. He was out of the majors for a lot of June, so I don't know if he was hurt or maybe they sent him down to the minors. He only pitched 3 innings in each of his starts in June, but they were kind of maybe keeping him on a little bit of a pitch count. He did have a 5 1/3 inning appearance last time out at Coors Field and did okay, only allowing 2 earned runs, but he only had 1 strikeout, 2 walks. So Cannon has a very inappropriate name for what he really is because he does not have a cannon. He does not strike guys out. He's more of kind of a command pitcher, but he gives up some hard hits. He gives up too many hits sometimes. He's not that great with his control. He's very mediocre, man. So I don't know what we're going to get out of Cannon here. I don't really trust Cannon, so I wouldn't really want to have money banking on him. His numbers aren't great against Cleveland either. In 36 at-bats, 278 average, 850 OPS. That's not very good either. 10-4 strikeout walk ratio is a decent amount of strikeouts, but that's still not a really good ratio either. So I don't trust either starter here. So to me, this almost looks like an over to me as well because I don't really trust either bullpen very much either, even though the bullpens are somewhat rested here. We have total sitting in 8.5. Looks like it's moved up slightly, so the juice on the under isn't there anymore. 72% of tickets and cash both on the over. Slightly lean to the over, and I still slightly lean to the White Sox just because I think the spot is just bad for Cleveland. I think it is a letdown spot off of that big sweep. 84% of tickets, only 69% of the cash on Cleveland, and they are a road favorite. So it may make sense to take the shot with the White Sox. If you want to go first 5 innings or full game, I think it doesn't even really matter because it's like the starter and the bullpen both aren't really good. So it's like which one of those is going to be the bigger problem? How can you even predict? Who knows? Cleveland's down from -130 to -128 though. So it looks like the professional money is indeed fading Cleveland here and grabbing the White Sox. Potentially worth a look. I mean, I do lean that way because I mean you're at least getting a decent price as a home underdog there. And Cleveland maybe doesn't deserve to be a favorite like that on the road in this type of spot. So that's what I think about that game. Will, what's up, man? The Mariners, yeah, they're not playing well, but I hope they win today, man, just because I don't like the Yankees. Stacks, what's up? That's right. Toad with a banger in the intro there. What's up, everybody? All right. What else we got here? We have Washington at St. Louis finishing up this series. Teams have split the first 2 games with St. Louis winning yesterday 8-2, I believe. Or no, Washington, winning 8-2 yesterday. Gore actually did have a good start yesterday and outpitched Palante. A little bit more bullpen usage from the Nats, though. So I think the bullpen advantage is on the side of St. Louis today. St. Louis, not a good bullpen, but better than Washington's. Washington's bullpen is bad. As far as the starting pitching, I don't love either starting pitcher. Michael Soroka for Washington, 5.4 ERA, not good. He does have a good whip, 1.14. He's not putting that many guys on base, but I still don't trust him. He's been pretty much the same home and away. It doesn't really matter. He's coming off a really bad start against the Red Sox, allowing 7 earned runs, only going 4 innings, 9 hits allowed, 2 walks, put a lot of guys on base in that game. Did have 6 strikeouts, which is pretty good, but Soroka, I mean, the thing you're going to get with him is he strikes out a lot of guys. His walk rate is a little bit too high, and he gives up a lot of hard contact. It looks like he's given up a lot of home runs, man. 10 home runs in only 63 1/3 innings. So he's not even giving up that many hits. He's just giving up a lot of home runs, which maybe mean he's not as bad as his ERA looks because his strikeout walk rate is certainly pretty good. He did have a 36-9 strikeout walk ratio in June, a 3.49 ERA. So that wasn't that bad, although his team has not been behind him. His bullpen sucks. His hitting sucks. So team effort, man. The team has not helped him out at all. He's been okay. I mean, in all the starts in June, he didn't allow more than 4 earned runs in any of them. Did get torched, though, against the Red Sox last time out, so I don't know if he's exactly in the greatest form. That could be a little bit of a blip, though. His numbers against St. Louis, there aren't a whole lot of numbers to look at here. They only have 8 at-bats against him. Gorman does have a home run off him. Has a 4.0 strikeout walk ratio, so again, a high strikeout rate there. He's allowed a 250 average to them, an 875 OPS. It's a high OPS because of that home run, but it's not a lot of at-bats to look at there, though. So maybe Soroka will actually do okay here. So maybe Soroka is the better of the 2 starters here because he's up against Miles Mikola. So you want to talk about allowing a lot of home runs? Yeah, this guy fits the bill for that. 5.26 ERA, 1.34 whip. He's not doing well this season. He's been a little bit better at home with a 4.82 ERA, but he is getting trashed recently, man. He gave up 6 home runs in June, and over his last 2 starts alone, he's allowed 8 home runs in 10 innings. That is insane. He got absolutely destroyed by the Cubs last time out. I think it was one of those Wrigley games where the wind was blowing out, and he allowed 6 home runs, which, yeah, it's a little bit of an outlier, but man, this guy does allow a lot of home runs. 15 on the season, not great. He's not a high strikeout guy. He just doesn't do that well overall, man. He's allowed 14 runs over that span in the last 2 starts, the last 10 innings, 17 hits allowed. 9-to-1 strikeout walk ratio, not that bad, but other than that, he's just getting drilled recently, man, and his team has lost 4 of his last 5 starts as well, so I don't think you could trust him either. His numbers are mediocre against Washington in 89 at-bats, 19-6 strikeout walk ratio, not bad, but 253 average, 784 OPS, a high OPS. If you want player props, Josh Bell was 10 for 34 with 2 home runs and 5 walks off him, so Bell hits him quite well. Mikolas doesn't look like he's trustworthy either. Don't love either bullpen either. Not in love with either starter here. So this looks like another over to me. The total's sitting at 8.5. It looks like it's headed up towards 9, though. And, I always point out 9 is a key number in baseball, man, because you have to break a 4-4 tie. So you need that 9th run. My lean would be over in this game. 86% of tickets, 97% of the cash on the over. It's a reasonable price on it, too. A reasonable total at 8.5. So I think you could go over that, especially if you can get over 8.5 instead of over 9 there, and you don't have to even go over the key number there. Fuck the Yankees. Yeah, that is true. Yankees suck. Stroman likes to stroke men. He might. I don't know, man. That whatever that thing is, I called it a do-rag. I don't know what that is, man. He has something like under his hat. I can't tell if it's like a do-rag or it might just be something that, like, if he wears glasses, it might just be something that keeps his glasses on. But I don't even think he does wear glasses. I don't know. Whatever it is, it looks really, really weird and stupid. I don't know what you're referring to, Will, but all right. Good God, yes. Number 3, I don't know what we're talking about. Anyway, over looks like maybe worth a look in Washington, St. Louis. Atlanta finishing their series at the A's. They've split the first 2 games of the series with blowout wins in opposite directions, with the A's winning 10-1 in Game 1 and the A's losing 9-2 yesterday. Actually, shockingly, Bryce Elder pitched really well yesterday, which is not something you ever really expect. He's not good. Not a lot of bullpen usage yesterday in the game for either team, but the A's bullpen is certainly very bad. The A's have the worst of the 2 bullpens. Strider, I think, is the way more talented of the 2 pitchers on the mound today. 3.93 ERA, 1.16 whip. Bouncing back from injury, pitching pretty well for Atlanta here, but he has been worse on the road, 4.68 ERA on the road, and he's in a very hitter-friendly park here, so maybe he won't do as well here, but going all the way back to a start on June 8th, he's allowed 3 or fewer earned runs in every start. He's gone at least 5 innings in every one of those starts. Pitching well, had a 42-14 strikeout walk ratio and 3.6 ERA in the entire month of June, which is too many walks, but a very high strikeout rate as well, so he's a little bit wild, but he's striking out a lot of guys, and he's not allowing a lot of hits, so that's good. Last time out against Baltimore, he did allow 2 home runs, which wasn't great. Still limited them to 3 earned runs, 6.1 strikeout walk ratio, but his team lost the game because they basically couldn't score. Up against the A's, they have almost no history against them. They only have 6 at-bats against them, but they have a 500 average and 1,667 OPS entirely because Wins is 3 for 4 with a double, a home run, and 4 RBIs off him. So Wins specifically has hit him really well. But other than that, Strider is very unknown to the A's offense. So a young, talented pitcher like Strider could be hard for the A's to figure out, man, early on. So Strider may indeed have an okay game here. He's going up against J.P. Sears, who is not doing that great. 4.76 ERA, 1.27 whip. He's been worse at home. He's allowed a lot of home runs in the stadium, and he's really struggling to adjust to this AAA stadium the A's are playing in right now. 5.63 ERA at home. 12 of the 18 home runs he's allowed have been at home. Man, he's allowing a lot of home runs at home. I mean, that's not good. I mean, that's been the reason why he's been getting wrecked like this. Although he's in decent form right now. Over his last 3 starts, he hasn't allowed more than 3 earned runs in any start. And he's allowed exactly 3 earned runs over that entire span. 2 straight shutout performances. And he's gone at least 5 innings in all 3 of those. And one was against the Yankees, his former team. So he's actually in decent form recently, at least, although his walk numbers have not been that good. 7 walks over that span as well, compared to whatever that is, 15 strikeouts. So it is too many walks for Sears over that span. And last time out, it was against a pretty bad San Francisco offense, but he is still pitching a little bit better recently. He's a serviceable pitcher a lot of the time. He does have good numbers against the Braves. 43 at-bats against them, 209 average, 509 OPS. So the Braves have not hit him well in the past. 6-4 strikeout walk ratio is not good, but the rest of his numbers are good. So to me, I don't want to deal with the bullpens at all in this game, but I could see this game being an under early in the game. The total is very high, of course. It's at this A's stadium. It's at 10. It's gone up to 10 with juice. I don't know if I would totally agree with that one, though. I think the starting pitchers could do okay in this game. It looks like they might match up okay. 62% of tickets, only 60% of the cash on the under. So it looks like the public coming in taking an under, even though both games have been pretty high scoring in the series so far. And public's got to know the A's play all these high scoring games at home. So I don't know what the deal is with that. But whatever the case is, yeah, for some reason it looks like the public ticket percentage is on the under. But I would go under first 5 innings if I was going to look at this game. Maybe you could get like an under 5 in the first 5 innings or something like that. Might be the best lean there. Texas at Anaheim. Teams have split the first 2 games. We've seen a lot of runs in this series. Oh, no, excuse me. We've had 3 games so far in the series, and Anaheim's won 2 of them. My mistake. Every game has gone over the total so far. A lot of runs being scored in this series so far, but part of it is that Anaheim's bullpen is terrible. So Anaheim's bullpen, not only are they bad, but they used a ton of their bullpen yesterday. 7 pitchers came out of the bullpen yesterday, and they had to use some of their better relievers to save the game yesterday. So Anaheim's bullpen is in worse shape, even though Texas had to use some of their better relievers as well. Neither starter did well in the game at all. Texas's bullpen is the better bullpen, though, and probably in better shape here, just because Anaheim's bullpen got absolutely torched yesterday. I don't know if we could trust either starter here. Patrick Corbin pitching for the Rangers, 4.18 ERA, 1.29 whip. It's a pretty bad whip, and you know I keep talking about how bad he's been in recent seasons, though he's been okay this year, but he's starting to pitch worse. He's been worse on the road, 4.47 road ERA. He's been very mediocre over the last several starts. Giving up, he's basically like Logan Allen recently. He's been consistently mediocre, allowing between 2 and 5 runs in every single start, although Texas has lost 4 of his last 6. He's not exactly pitching great anymore at this point. He's allowing a lot of hits, more hits than innings pitched. 24-6 strikeout walk ratio in June wasn't that bad, and he is coming off a 6-inning, 2-run performance with 3 strikeouts, 1 walk against San Diego, but he doesn't strike out a lot of guys, man. He's not walking that many guys. The thing about him is he allows hard contact and allows too many hits, and that seems like it's kind of creeping up on him again. His numbers against the Angels are actually okay, in 96 at-bats, 20-8 strikeout walk ratio, too many walks, but 260 average, 651 OPS, so Corbin has done pretty well against Anaheim in his career, and he's going up against Jack Kohanowitz, who I think is the less trustworthy of the two, man. I mean, he's been worse than Corbin this year, man. 5.42 ERA, 1.55 whip, that's bad. He's been pretty much the same home and away, it doesn't really matter. Not pitching that well recently either, not going deep into games, although he's also allowing between 2 and 4 runs in every start, but he's not going deep into these starts. 21-11 strikeout walk ratio and 6.31 ERA in the month of June wasn't good because even though he wasn't allowing that many runs overall, he just wasn't going deep into like any of these games. He's not a big strikeout pitcher. He allows too many walks. Mediocre start last time out, 5 1/3 innings, allowing 3 earned runs against Toronto. 1-2 strikeout walk ratio, really bad again. Doesn't get strikeouts, walks too many guys. Texas hits him okay in the past, 40 at bats. 1-2 strikeout walk ratio. Both home runs he's allowed have been Garcia. 275 average, allowed 751 OPS. So in this game, given that I don't really love either starter here, don't like the bullpen situation. Both bullpens are unrested. Anaheim's bullpen sucks. So I think this is another over. So many over leans today, man. Totals flip from 9.5 juice to the under to 9.5 juice to the over. 75% of tickets, 86% of the cash coming in on the over here. This looks like an over game to me as well, man. And it looks like the money's coming in on Anaheim for some reason, even though I don't see how you could trust Kohanowitz over Corbin. The line is flipped on Anaheim from plus 104 to minus 112, and they have 80% of the cash on them, despite 65% of tickets being on Texas. Public liking Texas. That I don't understand, because I think Anaheim still, their run differential is terrible. They're still worse than their record looks. So I do not understand that at all. I do not agree with the market read in that one, but I think the better way to look at that game is an over. Andrew, what's up, man? Just in time for me to talk about your Angels team there. Yes, good morning to everybody. So those are my thoughts on that game, and then we'll finish this off with Arizona-San Diego, which is one of the better series that's going on right now. San Diego has lost 2 of the 3 games, so Arizona's taken 2 of the first 3 of the series, including yesterday, 8-2, which was the biggest margin of victory in the series so far. Dylan Cease normally has been good at home this year at least, but he did not have a good performance yesterday. Cease has been way worse this year than last year, man. Crazy. He ceased to be good, and Fott actually put together a really nice performance yesterday. So we have a situation now where San Diego still is in a situation where their bullpen is fairly unrested, although they didn't use their best relievers yesterday because they basically used all of them the day before that. So both bullpens are fairly rested, at least after yesterday. But Arizona's bullpen is the worst of the two by far. So I think Arizona does have a bullpen disadvantage in this game, but I actually think they have a starting pitching advantage. And I think Arizona, of course, has an offensive advantage. I mean, they have one of the best offenses in baseball, but I think they have the better starting pitcher, which is kind of sneaky because if you look at these pitchers' ERAs, you would think the opposite, but I think the ERAs are very misleading. Eduardo Rodriguez is pitching for Arizona, 5.78 ERA, 1.62 whip. Yeah, that is a horrible, horrible number there. Both those numbers are bad. He's been a little bit better on the road, 5.26 road ERA, pitching in a pitcher-friendly park here. And yes, I know he got absolutely hammered last time out against Kansas City. Somehow Kansas City had 12 hits and 8 runs off him, 3 homers in 4 1/3 innings. Yet he still had a 7-0 strikeout walk ratio on that start. Absolutely crazy that he was striking out that many guys but allowing that much hard contact. Probably he was throwing a lot of hard fastballs in that game, which is what he does. But you don't see a line like that often. But prior to that start, he actually was really good in June. 1.98 ERA in June, 28-9 strikeout walk ratio. So again, he was a little bit wild, which is kind of his issue. His issue usually is not that he gets hit that hard. His issue is usually that he gives up too many walks. I mean, he has a lot of home runs this year, too. A lot of it because of that most recent start, though, man. So usually his issue is more the wildness than anything else. But he's been pitching decently otherwise. I think he might do well here. San Diego has 78 at-bats against him, but they only have a 205 average against him lifetime and 604 OPS. So Erod does match up pretty well against San Diego. 18-7 strikeout walk ratio is not that good, but Machado has 5 of those walks, and overall only 6 for 39 off him. So Machado hasn't even hit him that well. So I think Rodriguez does match up pretty well against San Diego, and he is the way better pitcher than Randy Vasquez. Man, Eduardo Rodriguez, he is a way, way better strikeout pitcher. He's just a better pitcher with better stuff than Vasquez. You look at their ERAs, you would think otherwise, but Vasquez, I just don't trust him at all. I know his ERA looks good, 3.79. His whip is 1.36, which is not good. Puts too many guys on base. He's been better at home, though. 3.12 home ERA, fine. Coming off a decent start at home against Texas. They're a weak lineup. Gave up 2 runs in 6 innings, only 3 hits. But he walked 3 guys and only struck out 1. So, again, that's not a good ratio. His strikeout walk ratio is just terrible, man. On the entire season, he only has 49 strikeouts. He's not a strikeout guy. 42 walks. I mean, that's still too high a walk rate, man. He doesn't allow that many hits, but, man, he walks too many guys. Month of June, 4.34 ERA, which is okay, but 16 to 12 strikeout walk ratio, still not good. Failed to go 5 innings in 4 of the 6 starts over that span. So the fact that he allowed 4 or fewer earned runs in every start matters a little bit less when you're not going that deep into games. I don't trust Vasquez, man. Although his numbers are good against Arizona, 44 at-bats, 227 average, 663 OPS allowed, 9 to 3 strikeout walk ratio. So his numbers actually are decent against Arizona, which is why I can't get there with this one either, man. I slightly lean to Arizona, though, and that's where the money is coming in, just because I do think Arizona has the better starting pitcher and the better hitting. Their bullpen is not better, though, so I think maybe Arizona in the first 5 innings might be a better way to look at this, because you have the benefit of just the starting pitching matchup and the hitting if you do that, and then you can avoid Arizona's terrible bullpen. On the full game, Arizona's up from minus 109 to minus 116. Money is coming in on Arizona, and they're a road favorite for a reason here, man. Like, people are going to look at this and maybe wonder, why is San Diego a home underdog here when San Diego's fairly good at home and they have the better record? Well, odds makers are telling you something with that number, man. And the professional money seems to think, oh, there's something going on with that. And professional money agrees now. 61% of the cash now in Arizona. 69% of the tickets, though, on San Diego. But again, I like Arizona in this game, but I think first 5 innings makes more sense because, I mean, you're still fading public sentiment, which is good, but you're leaving Arizona's bullpen, which is terrible, out of the equation. I think that's going to do it for me, man. I've not been to a Red Sox game this year. I usually go to at least 1 or 2 every year, but I've not been to one this year so far. Maybe I will. I don't know. The last time I went was late last season. I went to a game against the Blue Jays, which, of course, the Red Sox lost. It is a fun time, though. No sandwich today? What do you mean? Baseball doesn't really have sandwiches. If you're talking about the sandwich spots, the sandwich spots, they don't happen in baseball, dude, because a sandwich basically means you're coming off a big game and you have another big game up next. We might find them in WNBA, but baseball doesn't have sandwiches because baseball is a sport where you play series. So you're really more looking at like letdowns coming into a new series potentially or something like that, or looking ahead to a bigger series. I'm going to be on Jose's show again tonight. We're doing more Hoppa readings. We're finishing that book off. We have maybe 5 more episodes or so left, so I'm going to be on his show tonight. I think it's going to be Patreon only at first, and then it will be public like within the next few days probably. Catching what's up, man. I don't understand what that means. You want to bet, like you want to play in the stock market against the WNBA? There's no way you should do that. The WNBA is more popular now than it's ever been, and it's because of Caitlin Clark, which the WNBA hates Caitlin Clark for whatever reason. They all hate her. They didn't make her the cover athlete on the WNBA 2K26 or whatever. It's stupid Angel Reese, who's one of the ugliest players and plays really ugly and is not even that good of a player, so it's ridiculous that she got the cover athlete. Again, there's all this Caitlin Clark hate. It might be race-related. I don't know. That's going to do it for me, man. I haven't given out any plays today. I apologize for that, but I just don't love this board today, so it's a rare pass for me today. You'll rarely find me passing, but when I do it, it's usually a day like this during the lull during baseball season when it's a Monday or a Thursday with a little bit of a shorter card. Clark is the WNBA, and she just came back yesterday, but her team's going to have to pick it up, man. They're going to try to make the playoffs because they've been playing pretty poorly. So some of it because she's been hurt. They need to get that rhythm back and get that chemistry going, man, with their full lineup there. I like Sophie Cunningham, though. She's on Indiana as well. She's pretty hot. That's going to do it again. Learn to Toad on Twitter. Bettor Off Dead. You can find me everywhere, man. We're on YouTube. We're on the audio platforms. Please, like, subscribe, comment, listen. It helps me out in a whole bunch of different ways. I am on Instagram as well, but I will not be posting anything there today because I don't have anything to talk about really because I haven't given out any plays today. Covered in Uke is my YouTube Uke channel, which we're going to have some things going on there. I am posting everything I post to Twitter on that channel now, but I am going to be doing a Patreon soon, which is going to be at Learn to Toad. And I'm going to have like Uke stuff for Patreon only. And maybe I'll do extra Bettor Off Dead Patreon streams as well or something like that. The Uke stuff, I think I'm going to offer uke requests that get prioritized at the highest level because I just get too many requests, man. I just can't do all of them. And some of them I just can't do anyway, but we'll see how that goes. And then I will have, I believe I'm going to do a Spotify feed that's going to be like a podcast, but it'll be all the uke stuff that I have up because I don't think I can get on Spotify as like an artist for it. So I'm considering doing that. Haven't gotten any feedback on that whatsoever, whether or not you guys might want something like that. So let me know because I do want to get a Patreon going. I want to get some money, man. As you know, as it's been going, maybe I should just professionally bet, but now that's going to be untenable as well because of the big, beautiful bill. So isn't that great? Being blackballed from, the corporate industry, so I can't really get a software job right now, and not being able to professionally bet either now. Isn't that just an awesome situation for me? Peace out, everybody. Let's have a good Thursday, and that's going to do it.